Good morning and welcome back. My goodness, it was a cold, misty morning this morning. I hope that the sort of mist clips that I took, that they came across on camera, you would have just seen them. But I sort of came out this morning and just, we had the most magical sort of just mist over the valley here that I sort of overlook. It's so beautiful, those sort of mornings when it's just fresh. We've got gorgeous blue skies and just this mist, this sort of like thick blanket of mist. It was so magical. But my goodness, was it chilly. It's about 8 degrees now, which is not as cold as it will get. And obviously this is early morning, so it will get warmer as the day goes on. But I'm in Australia, and I think I have said this before, but outside temperatures tend to come inside. So it was quite fresh. We have single pane sort of glass here, and our homes are obviously built for heat. So they're built for when it gets so hot in our summers. They're built to kind of, keep things really cool. So in those few months of winter, let me tell you, it is a little bit chilly first up in the morning. And you would have seen, I showed you, I opened my curtains this morning and all of my windows and doors were just covered. I couldn't see out. They were just covered in condensation, which is like the difference between it being so cold outside and then warm in my room. It creates like the condensation on the windows, and I couldn't see out this morning. So yes, very cold and misty and magical this morning. So it's been, it's quite a delight already, and it is still quite, it is still quite early. But I thought we would spend today together and possibly tomorrow. So I am up bright and early, and I would have mentioned in last week's sort of garden tour video that I have a few sort of little gaps in the cottage garden, and because of that, I get to go to the garden centre. So that's what I thought we would do today. Like, so first up this morning, let's head to the garden centre and let's just have a little look around. Let's see what they've got in. It is sort of, we're midwinter now, so I'm not sure what they're going to have in, basically. So fingers crossed they will have something truly lovely there that I can pick up. If not, it's not a big deal. But yeah, we'll have a little mooch around. Let's go through the garden centre and just, see what's in stock. And then I need to go to the farm shop and get like my weekly produce, but I do need to be home. I've got a meeting at 11 a.m. So I do need to be quite productive this morning, and I can't kind of, waffle around too much. So we are going to head off now. What is it now? It's about 20 past 8, so still quite early. We're going to head off. Let's go to the garden centre, let's head to the farm shop, and then we'll come home, and I'll kind of see how the day goes today, and I'll also see how successful we are at the garden centre. And then I sort of thought maybe tomorrow what we would do is get out into the cottage garden and do some gardening together. I've got bits and bobs that need to be done, and if we are successful at the garden centre, we might have some plants to put in and that. So yeah, let's go. I know, we'll have to go over and have a little look.
No, I'm not going to.
So we have arrived at the garden centre, and you would have just heard Mum ranting there. Mum has joined us at the garden centre. They have so much stuff here. So this is like midwinter for us, and I mean, you just saw all those pallets that were arriving. There's so much colour, so much gorgeous, just, it's really lovely. So we'll just have a little wander around and see what they have in. Gosh, these are really pretty. They would be really nice in like flower displays to give you a bit of height and colour. They've already got out their hyacinth bulbs. They've got the white, the purple, and sort of this more mauvey sort of colour. God, wow, like look at that. I do have my bulbs in the fridge at the moment. How gorgeous are these marigolds? Oh, the shape of the bloom is really pretty. So much beautiful colour. Just had a quick little wander through all the vegetables and herbs. Not that I need anything. I just wanted to show you. They've got little aloe vera plants here. I do have an aloe vera plant at home already, but it's such a handy plant to have. If you don't have an aloe vera plant, I highly recommend getting one if you're in a growing zone that allows it. They're just really handy, you know, for skincare treatments and such. But yes, lots of, oh, how cool are these? That's a very unusual looking little cactus. They've got the last few little snack capsicums, marshmallow root, valerian, comfrey, tansy. Sage. Nothing particularly new or exciting in the vegetables and herbs. I might have a little wander through the sort of fruits and that. My blueberry is still alive and it's still doing well, so that's positive, but I don't want to get too excited and, you know, invest in too many blueberries until I'm certain that that variety works. All the olive trees. Got all your berries here. This is where we got my blueberry from. Mulberry bushes. I've never eaten a mulberry. Let me know, have you ever eaten a mulberry? Does it just taste kind of like a blackberry, like raspberry sort of taste? They're quite tart normally. Is that what a mulberry tastes like? I do think those bush like trees get quite big. Passion fruit. It's also nice being at the garden centre quite early in the morning. Not nearly as busy as it will be later on today. So maybe nothing today from the edibles. I think I've sort of got everything that I'm interested in at the moment. So maybe we'll just have a little wander over now and have a better look in the plants and see with some of those gaps I've got in the garden, see if we can get a few little things to fill them. I was actually looking for the trailing violets that I grow, like the ground covers, but I could not see any of them here at the moment. So that is unfortunate, but we'll see if they've got some other nice plants. They've also got in like all their cherry and pear trees. They've got figs, nectarines back there. Gosh. Peaches. I do have a little dwarf peach. Crepe myrtle. All their ornamentals are also in. I mean, look at the colour of these stems. Like the branches, the red. How pretty is that? Japanese maples. Oh, wow. coral bark maple. That's really pretty. If I step back so you can see, gosh, that's very nice. Ornamentals, I probably don't need any more ornamental trees. That is very nice. That bit of colour, just so that once the leaves sort of drop, you've still got that really nice pop of that corally sort of red. That is very beautiful. Well, if you are looking for your ornamental sort of trees or your pears, nectarines, that kind of thing, they've definitely got them in at the moment in the garden centre. Wow, look at that hibiscus bloom. Gosh, it's like a toast plate size. That's very beautiful. I have managed to locate some of the creeping violas. If you are subscribed, you will know how much I love these. Oh, they are so just easy in the garden, so hardy, flower all year round, gorgeous little dainty, let me flip that around for you. Gorgeous little dainty flowers here. Even like the leaf structure is really pretty. So I've picked up 3 of those, and I've also got some additional potting soil. Well, there is some truly just spectacular colour here at the moment. But alas, not really anything else that sort of grabs my attention, aside from the creeping violas that I've already shown you. So I might call it a day here at the garden centre. They did have some really pretty climbing roses, but I have ordered a few online, so hopefully they will arrive shortly. But yeah, so I might call it a day here at the garden centre, and we may head on now out through the checkout and then on to the farm shop and the butcher and that before heading home for my meeting at 11. And so like, look at all of these this is all new stuff coming in, which is just crazy at this time of year. They're just getting all this newness in at the garden centre. Crazy, but really lovely. Well, I am home. Apologies, I didn't speak to you very much when I was at the farm shop, if not at all. I was in quite the rush. As I said earlier, I had a meeting at 11 that I needed to make. So I was in a little bit of a rush there towards the end. I have now had my meeting. I'm obviously home and it is almost 12 o'clock. And I have come home to a very exciting delivery here. You can see it is a console table. I purchased a console table, if I pan around, sort of similar to this one here, but just slightly smaller to fill in this space here. I find I go out this store often to get like herbs and bits and pieces from the garden. And so I'm wanting a little tiny console table here to pop a basket down and, a pair of, herb scissors, etc. just down the bottom here. And then I might be able to like style it up really nice as well with like some antique books, maybe like a beautiful little pot plant on top with like nice drapey leaves. And anywho, I think it'll look really nice. And I think it'll kind of just end this sort of the lounge room area here. Anyway, so that has arrived. So I'm very excited about that delivery. I cannot believe how quickly it came. But I thought we might unbox this together and assemble it. But first things first, I'm going to get changed into something a little bit more comfortable so I can kind of tackle this box. Rightio. I am in some comfy clothes. Let's see. I'm not the biggest fan of flat pack, and I would have much preferred to have bought a piece like an antique or something that was secondhand, but unfortunately, because of where I want to place it, it was a very specific sort of size that I needed. As I said, your girl is not a massive fan of flat pack. So I will spare you having to watch me assemble this, and I will come on once I have got it all put together. But as I was saying, I would have much preferred like an antique or something secondhand, but I actually want to put it just over here in this little walkway. So these, like the dimensions were very, very specific. And I've been looking in antique stores and second-hand stores for months now. Actually, you would know this. You've come along to many of them with me, and I've just been unable to find anything that will kind of suit my style of house, that will kind of complement the space, and that will fit into that position. So this was the next best thing. Oy. Wish me luck. All right, I will come back on once this is all assembled and show you what it looks like in situ, and yeah, we'll go from there. Well, fingers crossed, I will hopefully see you soon. Good morning. It is obviously the next day. I'm sorry I didn't come back on last night and show you the finished console table. It took me about an hour and a half, which wasn't too bad, I don't think. Gosh, these roses are doing so well at the moment. Look, new little ones down here. Yeah, so it took me about an hour and a half to assemble it. It was fairly easy, and I have to say, it is actually quite a solid structure, which is lovely. So I definitely will show you that. But by the time I finished, it was already dark out. And so I just sort of thought I will show you in the daylight. We were treated to an exceptional sunset. I would have shown you a few clips of that. Would you have? I literally have just seen this. Look at this. This is new. Wow. I mean, it's clearly some sort of cactus, but I've never seen that before. I guess it was self-seeded here. That's very pretty. Goodness, I'm very distracted today by all the beautiful things in my garden. But yeah, so I will definitely show you the finished console table in the daylight. After yesterday's truly spectacular weather, we do have a bit of a cloudy one. The weather is supposed to start raining by this afternoon, and then it's meant to rain for the next few days, which will be great for the garden. But before I show you the finished console table, I also did style it a little bit, just with some pieces I had around the house. It looked a bit funny with nothing on it. It's sort of sticking out like a sore thumb with nothing on it, but I am really happy with it. So I will show you that very soon before I finish this vlog. But I've come outside this morning before it starts to rain, and I thought we might get into just a few very easy gardening jobs. I've got deadheading of the roses to do. I desperately need to tie up that pumpkin. A lot of the vines are quite long now, and so I just need to sort of tie it up a little bit more, particularly because the wind is getting quite strong, and if they're forecasting rain over the next couple of days, if it gets really windy, I don't want the vines to snap off. So that's what I thought we would do just very quickly this morning, get out and just have a very easy day in the garden. I'm sure if I spot anything else, we'll tackle that as well. But I thought, yeah, we would do that, and then we'll head inside and I will show you this console table. So the pumpkin has been strung up as best as I can. You would have seen I just again swapped around those strawberry pots just so they're getting a bit more sun on a day when we have sunlight. But I have tied it sort of up through till about there. There are so many pumpkins on here now, which is very exciting, but you'll note there are a few little sort of tendrils through here, little vines that I haven't. They're just a little bit too short at this stage. So I sort of tied these longer ones up all through there. I'm going to Google when I go inside, do a little bit of research and see whether I'm okay to start trimming off some of the vines. I don't know if that's going to have an adverse effect, but I'll do a little bit of research and just see, because I think maybe some of these offshoots I might trim off just so that the vine can put a lot more effort into the pumpkins it's growing, and so I don't have 30 pumpkins growing on here and then none of them come to fruition. But yes, that's looking really good. And I sort of thought, I'm not feeling heavy gardening today. It's feeling like a very slow, cozy day. So I thought I'd just take a little wander around the garden and just see if there's any, deadheading or anything that needed to happen. And I was sort of more towards the front of the garden, and I just got called out by a delivery gentleman, and my other delivery has arrived. I cannot believe it. I only ordered this like 3 days ago, and I didn't get any notification it was coming today, and apparently it wasn't meant to come till like another probably 10 days. So that's very exciting. So I've just taken delivery of that. I will open this with you when we get inside and we go in and have a look at the console table. But as I was saying, I'm sort of not really in the mood today. I've got a bit of a headache, and yeah, So I'm just not in the mood for like really hardcore gardening. So on days like that, what I like to do is, as I said, have a very slow, easy day. It's still lovely to come outside and just be amongst the garden and nature. So I've obviously tied back my pumpkin, but the other little thing I do is kind of just walk around with a pair of secateurs and a little bucket and just see if there's any easy to tackle jobs. So deadheading, a little bit of weeding, that kind of thing. So I thought we would do that quickly together. I am very conscious that we did recently do a garden tour, so I don't want to do that again with you, but I just thought I'm going to have a little wander and I would bring you along with me. Oh gosh, even the bees are very quiet today. There's a few of them in and out because it's not raining yet, but in comparison to on a sunny day, it's quite cold. You would have no doubt noticed that from my outfit when I was doing up the pumpkin. So don't judge me on my gardening outfit. I just really wanted to be cozy and warm today. Oh my goodness. Can you see that flower? I sprinkled, you may actually remember, a few months ago I sprinkled Cottage garden wildflower seeds, and I'd say this beautiful pink flower is one of them that has come up. Oh wow. And you can see another one of these is self-seeding. But everything up here in the wisteria pathway is looking good. I mentioned in the garden tour video that the wisteria hasn't lost her leaves yet. She's going strong. I'm definitely going to need to cut some of this away so that she can get down the other side. Everything is looking good up here. Also wondering, all of this in here, when we planted the cottage garden wildflower seeds up in the wisteria walkway, we also planted some here, so that's why I've left this. I'm not sure if it's weed or if it's wildflower coming up. Fingers crossed it is wildflower, because that would be very pretty. But yes, I'm just leaving that there for the time being. As I was saying, I don't know if I pointed out in my last video that I ended up planting the temple bells here. I've never had a temple bells plant before, and I think it is quite an ornamental plant. And you can see here, these are all the flower buds. And fingers crossed, once spring comes, it is going to erupt into very pretty little sort of white bell-shaped blooms. But yeah, so that one's just kind of gone in there, filling in that gap and looking very pretty in there. It will kind of get about 1 meter wide and about 1 meter high, so I think it'll like this position. Hydrangea is also looking great, and we are getting flowers starting. This is a lace cap hydrangea, and you can just see here getting some beautiful flowers. And I just wanted to give you a little update on the blueberry flowers that I showed you last week. I still think they are the cutest little things I've ever seen. I suspect the temple bell flowers will be something like this, like the little bell-shaped white flower. But I can see these little ones from my room. They're just very sweet, very cute. And I'm excited to hopefully harvest my very first blueberries soon. The little ceramic floating goldfish are having a meeting here in the corner. Gosh, they're cute. The little fantail ceramic floating goldfish. And then if you just look up a little bit here, it's a little froggy. I'm pretty sure, I think I've shown you these before, but it's so cute. The little fishies and the froggy. And yeah, they're just made out of like ceramic and they float. And they just live here in this little water fountain. Alright, I think that is going to be it for the gardening today. It is just starting to sort of very lightly sprinkle with rain. So I'm just going to collect my bits and bobs and then let's head inside. Let's open this package together and I will show you the console table. So let's open this package first. So funny, I was actually thinking about this morning. Given that it's so cold today, I thought, oh, I'm so disappointed that it didn't arrive for like this cold weather. But here it is. It's like they heard my thoughts. Okay. Now, hear me out on this. We don't get super cold weather, and the next couple of months are going to be really cold. And I wanted a really pretty, sort of thicker throw blanket for when I'm sort of curled up on the couch. And I have been looking and looking and looking, and I wanted something that was made out of a fairly natural fiber, so like a wool or a cotton or, you know, that kind of thing. And I haven't been able to find something that had a really pretty sort of pattern on it or nice colors or, you know, whatnot. And I had this idea and I thought, oh, I could buy a quilted quilt cover, just a small one, like a king single, and I could use that for a blanket on the couch. And so they had massive sales on for end of financial year. And so, I mean, obviously you can tell this is the print that I got. It is, I mean, that color that you can see on camera is actually pretty true to the color. It's a very sort of sage green kind of color. And then it's got this very pretty tan, light sort of, yeah, light tan kind of color with these sort of brown line drawings on it, which is a garden scene. And given that when I'm in my sitting room I look out onto the cottage garden, I thought that this would be really pretty. And you can see, like, it's got all just the flowers on it. There's butterflies, there's little birds. Anyway, I thought this was a genius idea. So, oh wow. And because it's just a little bit thicker, so this is what I ended up getting. There'll probably be, there we go. There is a pillowcase in here. So I got, because I'm only wanting it for on the couch and to kind of snuggle up under, I got the king single size. And yeah, I'm so happy with this. Oh my goodness. You just have like a random idea and you're like, Anyway, I don't know if I finished my thoughts. Sorry. This is the first time I'm seeing this as well. I'm a little bit excited. Yeah, anywho, so they had all the end of financial year sales and I was having a bit of a hunt around because I didn't want to spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on a cozy blanket that I'm only going to use probably 2, maybe 3 months of the year. So this was on sale, and the color tones, I will give you a sort of wide view once I've got it on the couch here, but like, I just wanted to show you. So you can see it's got like the little birds and like all the branches, the florals. all the little different types of birds. You can see here, there's like butterflies. And you've got like the big branches there. And so it is a quilted blanket. And so I don't know if you can obviously see like the quilted lines there. And what that means is it's actually filled with cotton. So this is just obviously the pillow sham. And then this is the reverse side of it, which is also really beautiful. So when I'm cozied on the couch, even if like the blanket's flipped over or anything, it is exceptional. The quality is really nice as well. 100% cotton. Yep, fabric and the filling, all 100% cotton. And so what I was trying to explain was this it has a filling in it. So it's got, in these little quilted sections, it's filled with cotton. So it just makes it that little bit more warm. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this. So happy. Oh, and the print. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I will link this in the description box just in case you're interested. I'll link this and I'll link the console table. But, oh my gosh, like, so that's obviously the main side. And then that's the reverse of it. And yeah, it's not crazy thick, but you can just see there, it's got a little bit of like weight to it. And then it's just got the cotton filling. So it's actually quite soft and snuggly. Oh, okay. I'm just going to flip this camera around. I'll put this on my couch. My couches are like a Hampton style couch. So I'm just going to sort of drape this over it so you kind of get the idea of why I went for these colors. Gosh, the lighting today is absolutely terrible, so I apologize for that. The overhead lights will not help us either. But just to sort of show you, this is one of my couches in the sitting room, and so you can see it's kind of got that Hamptons stripe through it. And then you can see, so the brown sort of stripe matches the same brown here on the print. And then it's just that really beautifully sort of muted green tone, which I think goes so lovely in this space. Sorry, I'm just trying to step back so you can get a better sort of... I have a lot of soft tones in my room, so I'm over the moon with that. Gosh, and oh god, apologies for the styling here. I was excited and I'm just showing it to you like this. I've not even fixed the couch. That's where I was sitting to do the unboxing, so that's why that's all sort of crumpled. But really, really happy with it. I'm going to give it a good wash and then I will be able to snuggle up and get all cozy on the couch. Alright, so as I've already said, apologies for the lighting today, but it is quite the cozy rainy day. But I didn't want to end this vlog without showing you the console table. So hopefully this position is sort of giving you a good sort of look at the end result. So that is how the flat pack turned out. I'm actually really happy with it. I think it looks incredible. It's very sturdy. The drawers are going to be super helpful. And basically what I've done is just styled it with a few little pieces that I already had around the house. I did, I think, mention... I can't remember now. I think I mentioned kind of one of the reasons why I wanted it was, one, to complete the lounge room area, but two, I wanted to be able to place this little basket here with my sort of herb and vegetable scissors in it. I do tend to go out this door often when I'm cooking to collect, you know, fresh herbs or veggies, spring onions, you know. And it would just be very helpful to have a little basket there that's easy access that I can grab and then head out this door. My other harvest basket is in a different location basically. And yeah, anyway, so that's the little harvest basket there. I've got the little ostrich egg. I've got, you know, pictures and just some really beautiful blooms, books, that kind of thing. Just pieces that I've had lying around the house that I thought looked very pretty there on that positioning. But as I said, this is probably not going to be the end result of the styling. I just sort of styled it up late last night after I'd finished assembling it, just so that it didn't feel like an empty console table. I think it looks much nicer when it's got, you know, bits and bobs on it. But I am truly happy with how that's turned out. Would I have loved an antique piece here? 100%. But the dimensions was very, very specific. This here is actually a walkway out the door. So the depth of the table had to be quite narrow. So I think it was almost around like the 25 to 30 centimeters. I think this one ended up being 30 centimeters, which was basically the maximum depth that I could have. I also was very specific with the length. I didn't want anything too long and I didn't want anything too high. So getting a secondhand piece or an antique piece was just, yeah, quite a challenge to find something that was a style that suited the space, but was also the right size for the sort of walkway piece here. But yeah, over the moon, very, very happy that it all assembled relatively easy. I wasn't missing any pieces or anything like that. So I'll give you a little close-up look of it in a moment, but I just want to say while I've got you here, thank you so much for joining me for the yesterday and today. I've loved having you. I hope you've really enjoyed. It's been a bit of an eclectic one. We sort of went to the garden centre and the farm shop, and then deliveries galore arrived, and we've been able to kind of go through those and, you know, sort of see the pieces and in some cases assemble the pieces. So I hope you have really enjoyed this one. I've loved having you. Thank you for all, as always, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.